Hello everyone, I am Alvis Lazarus. A warm welcome to all of you. Glad to have you all part of this great event. So today I am going to share with you the insights on the impact of COVID-19. So if you've really seen, the negative impact of COVID-19 has been discussed in stretch on any form of media. If you have seen, all the negatives have been shared. Today what I'm going to share with you is the untold story of the positive impact of COVID-19. So before I go to the details of what are all those opportunities available, I see this downturn is more of kind of a rejuvenation time for the logistics sector to prepare ourselves such that we are ready to grab those opportunities as they come. Not just that, logistics sector has a great record in terms of bouncing back whenever there is a downturn. Even in 2009, when there was a downturn impacting most of the sectors, and when things start to revive, the first sector to bounce back is nothing but the logistics sector. So with that positive note, let me quickly take you through the opportunities what lies ahead of us. I'm going to explain the insights on 4 key opportunities which I call the positive impact of COVID-19. So the number 1 is customer behavior. Number 2 is global e-commerce. Number 3 is channel inventory. And number 4 is global sourcing. So I have the subsequent slides where I will be explaining each one of them. But to start with the preview of each one of them, let me start with the customer behavior. So if you really see post COVID-19 or during COVID-19 times, I see a tremendous change, a positive change in the customer behavior, which in turn fuels the transformation of global logistics. Number 2, in global e-commerce, the offline market's loss is the gain of online market, and the trend even now shows a 2x growth on the previous forecast for the global e-commerce, and the signs are so positive for this sector in particular. Third one is channel inventory. So inventory is considered as a waste. People were talking about just in times and lean inventories. Now there is a tremendous shift towards channel inventory. So inventory is no more a waste, and it is seen as a competitive edge to service customers on time. And the last but not the least is the global sourcing. Risk management now leads the organizational strategy. It has been discussed on all the boardrooms in terms of how we missed on this COVID-19 times, and there is a clear importance given to the risk management tools and risk management methodologies. And the first step which has been desired by most of the organizations is coming up with an alternate sourcing. So with that preview, let's go ahead and discuss a little bit more about each of those key opportunities such that we prepare ourselves. So the first one, customer behavior. As I said, there is a positive change in customer behavior, which actually is fueling the transformation of the global logistics. So first, let's talk about some of the issues faced by the global logistics. The first one, though there are a lot of technologies prevailing in the market, the digital push is always a challenge in logistics industry. To be very precise, no matter you come up with so many different value propositions from a digital standpoint, end of the day, the cost drives everything. Cost is the key lever in winning the contract. So what happens is all those tech initiatives hit a roadblock. And so what that happens, more and more tech initiatives come, more and more softwares around these initiatives come in, which actually will drive a lot of efficiency in this industry. But when the customers are not keen towards it, what happens? These initiatives die out. This is one of the biggest pain point in this industry. So what happens now? There is a positive change coming from the customers, because the lessons we learned from COVID-19 is in terms of we can't still have the data in a raw form which is not immediately available for you. These are all the key risks identified. And now to mitigate this, the only way we have is to go towards the digital transformation. So the focus on value over the cost of operations and that is the first major change in terms of the customer outlook. And the industry is now saying in one voice that digital transformation is the way forward, which is great. Now this is now people are ready to pump in a little bit more money in such that they make their supply chains more effective, and logistics playing a crucial part of the supply chain. There is going to be a great transformation. And second one, Kano model of the global logistics industry took a drastic change post COVID-19. So just to give a background of Kano model is a tool by which you actually document the voice of your customers. So if you don't get it completely, no worries, that actually a separate keynote is being planned for the Kano model itself. In a nutshell, it's asking ourselves, do we really know our customers? So Kano model undergone a great transformation. That means what customers were expecting prior to COVID-19 and post COVID-19, it's absolutely different. And now it's highly important we understand those expectations and start building our infrastructure, processes, and our digital product aligned with those expectations, such that the organization gains the maximum out of this. The second one we are going to discuss is on the global e-commerce. As I said before, yes, the offline markets, there is a lot of loss in many sectors, but that is getting converted as the gain of the online market. And as I've told you, the trend is already so positive. To be very precise, the global e-commerce has a revised forecast of $6 trillion by early 2022 itself. It has jumped almost from 4.5 to 5 trillion to 6 trillion within a quarter. And to be very precise, this number is so crucial for the logistics industry. Out of this 6 trillion, 1.5 trillion, that is around 1/4 of the global e-commerce market, would be driven by cross-border buying by 2022. What that means is it is not going to be local sourcing and local sales. It is more and more customers are now interested in buying from different countries. So moment there is a cross-border buying increase, and that too at a huge proportion to the overall global e-commerce, the direct beneficiary of this number is going to be the logistics sector. The nuances of the e-commerce industry and the expectations of e-commerce on logistics is completely different. So this is where the service portfolio of each logistics organization now should prepare themselves for an e-commerce scenario such that they can get the maximum out of this boom of the global e-commerce. This is like a gold mine, because $1.5 trillion of cross-border buying, it's going to be a great boon for the logistics industry. The third one is channel inventory. So as I said, inventory is no more a waste, and most of you even may think how a channel inventory is going to impact the logistics. I'm going to quickly connect the dots and explain you how this is going to happen. So why channel inventory is becoming a popular topic now? The answer is simple. Most of the risk tools, when they are trying to mitigate the issues identified, the risk identified, stocking points came as the mitigation plan to ensure OTIF is on a higher side. To explain what is OTIF, OTIF is the on time in full, which is the metrics of a supply chain by which customer is getting whatever they have ordered on time as per their expectation. That is one of the tough metrics in supply chain. So the mitigation plan to ensure your service fills and OTIF is all-time high is to ensure you are keeping the products closer to the customer. Now this is going to lead the way for a strong growth in storage requirements, which is nothing but the warehouses and distribution centers. The volume of products which is getting moved is going to be on the higher side, and this is going to have a direct impact on the logistics and on the logistics services. So there is a strong demand on end-to-end outsourcing of logistics. So this is again a very important point. Now customers are more and more want to have a single service provider who takes care of not just the movement and also the storage, which is actually the definition of logistics. Logistics by definition is movement of products as well as stocking of products. Is basically all that is included in moving a product from A, and it's all about moving a product from a point A to B, which is nothing but the delivery to the customers. So this outsourcing includes primary and secondary transportation. It also includes the value-added services. It also includes the warehouse management system, planning tools, and all other services. The key takeaway is logistics as an end-to-end service is a need of the hour, and it is going to be a game changer. I'm going to share with you some numbers here. If you really see here, warehousing alone is estimated to reach $600 billion by 2024, and logistics going to have a huge pie over here. And very important thing, though the number is like 1/4 of that, $150 billion by 2025, it's just value-added services. So now I want to just restate this. Customers don't want to have multiple players. They want to have a single third-party logistics provider who just get the job done for them. So this is again a goldmine of opportunities, and this is where you can upsell a lot of services. This is the time you can expand your service portfolio such that you get the maximum out of this value-added services as a portfolio. The last one is a digitalization. So as I've told you previously, the expectations from the customer, which you will also be seeing part of the voice of customer, the Kano model. Now we can't shy away from digitalization no more. It is not an option at all. And that's the reason, if you see here, 2024, $10 billion is the estimated market size for digitalization. And there are so many initiatives focused on logistics is on the pipeline. These numbers are definitely promising to go back and revisit our service portfolio, revisit our short-term and the long-term goals as an overall. And the last one what I have is the global sourcing. So the risk management leads the organizational strategy. So the first step which is happening now is alternate source of supply, because most of the risk management tools clearly shown that having a single source of supply is a huge risk. It is a risk which is in just bright red. So what you need to do? You need to have more options. So alternate source of supply has a huge impact on logistics as an overall. So the first sign is in terms of emerging manufacturing hubs. We all talked about India, the emerging manufacturing hubs. India, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Taiwan, Philippines, Bangladesh. All these countries are specific initiatives targeting more and more manufacturing at their own countries. This is just happening now. All these countries are coming up with very specific schemes focusing to get more and more manufacturing coming to their country. And moment this happens, we will see in the coming days a lot of newer lanes coming in. And as you know, setting up of the logistic infrastructure and preparing yourself for those newer lanes, it is a long process. And this is the time we predict what are those lanes are going to be and be ready for it, such that when things boom, we can get the maximum out of that. So emerging manufacturing hubs will lead to newer lanes, and this opens up a big goldmine of opportunities on those newer lanes as well. The third one is load consolidation. So though I talked about emerging manufacturing hubs and new lanes, all these lanes won't come up with greater volumes on the day one. So what is going to be a game winner in my opinion is load consolidation opportunities for those customers. And that is going to be a clear winning recipe to be the leader on those newer lanes. So to summarize, these are the 4 key opportunities. The positive impact of COVID-19, that the customer behavior is on a positive change, which is a great news. Global e-commerce with 1/4 of the total pie coming to cross-border buying, it is going to be the logistics game over there. And channel inventory is no more a waste, and definitely there is a greater scope of logistics to be given as an end-to-end service. And the last one, part of global sourcing, we are going to see a lot of newer lanes going to come in. We need to prepare ourselves to get the most out of those newer lanes as well. So as a summary, I want to just restate logistics as a sector. Even at this downturn, we need to take this as a time to build our infra, because when the gates open up, that is the expectation on this industry is going to be higher than ever, and whichever organization is going to prepare themselves more in terms of the processes, capacity, as well as the digital requirements by the customer. If these three things are there, I think nothing is going to stop this industry, and those organizations are going to have a great future. So these are the insights from my end. I'm so glad to share these insights with you. Thank you so much to be part of this session. And if you want to take this further, and if you have any questions or clarifications on whatever the details what I've shared, please feel free to write on the email ID given on the slide. Thank you so much.